Gross. Huh? Yeah. You want to relax and have a good time. Good time tonight. How's the toe? Oh, look at that. Everybody's asking how's Jay Bird's toe. Alyssa, hello. Kaylee, Jersey Johnny. What's up, y'all? Hanging out here with Jay Bird. We just made ourselves a pizza pie. It's a drunken chill Friday over here. Uncle Tito's in hand. It's not even 5 o'clock. Actually, not only is Uncle Tito in hand, but he's almost gone. Whatever. It's Friday.
Friday.
Friday. Jay Bird and I have got movies to watch because we are officially within sight of Infinity War. The culmination of the MCU. Not really, but you know. Very, very excited. Currently on the Black Panther. Last night we watched Thor Ragnarok. Hilarious as always. Galen, how are you, sir? Amy, love pugs. Yes. Constantly forget how funny that movie is. Every single time I see it, I laugh at the same moments, harder and harder. Kate Blanchett, wow, I can't believe they killed her at the end of that movie. It's like, shit, she would have been good as a couple movie villain, but...
So she doesn't come back at all?
No, she's dead. Surtur kills her with the sword there. Surtur's a powerful thing.
Yeah.
It's supposed to, like, signify that she gets stabbed and it all blows up. I mean, she could always come back because she's the goddess of death, but we'll see. They'd be smart if they did. Considering Thor 4 already came and went. Oh, breaking news! Jay Bird's watching her videos. The change of pace for Thor was so needed. Well, I can't wait to, you know what's going to be nice is now for me especially, is we're moving into movies that I've seen only a handful of times, right? Captain Marvel, twice. Actually, in full, only once. I don't think it's a great movie. She is my favorite character, but the movie is just not as great as it needs to be. Especially coming up the heels of Infinity War, you're like, you know, Ant-Man and the Wasp is a little bit of a, I mean, they lead into what we need to see, but they're kind of, they just movies I've only seen once. I saw Ant-Man and the Wasp twice, actually, because it is kind of funny. It has the moments that I laugh at. But then we'll be moving into, like, after, especially after Endgame. I mean, I did see Spider-Man Far From Home a few times. But after that, nothing, man. Eternals, I saw it once. I tried to rewatch it. I could barely. Black Widow, are you kidding me? I'm not even looking forward to rewatching that pile of garbage. And then, like, again, Ant-Man and Quantum Realm. Oh, my God. I just watched it a couple weeks ago. Rewatching that movie is going to be another nightmare experience. Multiverse of Madness, I only saw once, so maybe it'll be worth the second viewing. Jacked, of course, to rewatch Spider-Man. I can't. Far From Home is going to be, or sorry, whatever it was. Yeah, Far From Home.
Oh, doesn't Oppenheimer and Barbie come out tonight?
Yesterday.
What was
Today's
it?
Friday. Yeah, movies come out on Thursday. Yep. Barbie and Oppenheimer would have come out yesterday. Big talk, obviously. They will, I'm sure, have pretty equal openings. In a world where there are so many different palettes, I think that not everybody's going to be signing up for something as heavy as Oppenheimer, and most people aren't going to be like, people that want a good movie are not going to go see Barbie. So it's going to be about like what you're kind of feeling, entertainment, or do you want like something palpable? I'm sure they're both going to be great. Tom Cruise, hilarious, whatever. I don't know. He must be doing Mission Impossible stuff still because there's a super viral clip of him going around. They were asking him what he's going to see, and he was like, I'm going to see them both on Friday night. I'm going to go see one, and I'm going to go see the other right here. I'm like, get the hell out of here. You think Tom Cruise is actually going to the movies? And if he is, you really think he's going to a double feature Barbie Oppenheimer on a Friday night? Guy's like got Mission Impossible stuff. He's like, oh yeah, I'm just going to watch them both. I'm like, what a political answer. The reality is he's like, I'm not going to see either of them probably for a year. Paul, what's up? Anthony, how are you guys? Hope everybody's having a nice day. Yes, I'm very excited. Continuing down the rabbit hole of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And then I'm going to have to piecemeal a lot of this stuff, you know. Television shows, we're certainly not going down that rabbit hole. I am not about to rewatch any of those shows except for WandaVision, which I'll happily rewatch, but the rest of them, no way. The odds that I'm rewatching Falcon Winter Soldier, not happening. The odds that I rewatch Hawkeye are 0. The odds that I rewatch Miss Marvel is 0. We're just gonna have to give Jenna overviews of, you know, those shows because I'm not doing it.
Sounds good.
Not fucking doing it. You know what I mean? Those things are rough and they haven't contributed, and at least I know what contributes to what. You have to watch What If, right? What If is 100% necessary. WandaVision 100% necessary. But outside of those things, until I see the connective tissue, obviously you have to know what happens in Winter Soldier and Falcon because it's important to the overall progression of what's going on here. But I don't know. Miss Marvel, I think you can kind of just be like, this is her, who she is, this is kind of what happened in the show, and here's the end credit. You know, because it really wasn't. Barbie was really good. If you grew up watching Barbie, you'd appreciate it and get it, but you wouldn't take a little kid. That's a good analysis.
So that was the thing. I wanted to see if other people knew. They said when Margot Robbie interviewed her that it was for everybody. Like, you know, they made the movie literally for everybody. But then there's a lot of people saying, like, don't take the kids. Like that.
That's probably a little risky, I guess. But in a world of TikTok, I think kids are exposed to everything anyway, so.
Yeah. I haven't really even watched
maybe in her world, you know, she thinks it does appeal to everybody. Looking forward to Ahsoka. I wish I could say the same. I really do. I wish I could say the same.
I'm looking forward to Beetlejuice.
Yeah, well, obviously Michael Keaton's an incredible actor. It's an adult Barbie. Yeah, it's going to be an adult movie. I mean, Will Ferrell being, you know, part of that whole. I'm sure that
Oh, he is?
he's the head of Mattel in the movie.
Oh, that would be cool.
Well, I think it's Mattel that they probably. I'm assuming that they're using Mattel as the actual company.
Yeah.
I just know he plays the big wig.
Well, that would be neat. He's so funny.
Yeah, of course.
We'll have to watch.
I love Ryan Gosling. I love Margot Robbie. These are excellent actors. Academy Award winning, nominated. You know, Gosling, come on.
Is it only in theaters or is it streaming somewhere?
Oh no, it's just. It's not for everybody. There isn't anything bad or questionable in it. They just won't get the history behind a lot of the stuff that happens in the joke. So I get you.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Kevin, how you doing?
Yeah, that doesn't really exist anymore.
Oh, she's been phased out.
Yeah.
And that's why it's interesting that, you know, the culture's kind of revolving back to that. You know?
Mm-hmm.
In this woke world that we live in, they still cast the hottest lady in Hollywood to be Barbie. So it's like, what was the whole point of all the crap that they've been doing to Barbie for 15 years? She had to get bigger. She had to become different in every way. But then they were like, ah, we'll make a movie and we'll just go right back to it.
The classic Barbie.
It's so weird.
But the other movie sounds really cool too.
Yeah, he's the guy that I don't know much about him because I don't want to speak out of turn, but what I do know about him is that he was a part of the Manhattan Project and was basically the man behind the A-bomb.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I think had a very heavy conscience in life because I don't believe that he was really. He wasn't in the game of that. He was in the game of the science.
Right.
And then it was used in such a horrific way. I think he had probably some issues with that in life. Although I'm not sure. I don't know. I can just imagine that would be what the movie would be about.
That sounds interesting. It's true.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's a true story. Unlike Barbie, right? It's all entertainment, all just jokes and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
That's going to be a much heavier, Academy Award winner. Best
That would be
Picture
a double
nominee.
feature to see. Like, you could watch the first one, Oppenheimer.
You'd be better off, going to see Oppenheimer than going to see Barbie
Yeah,
because you'd be like,
like
oh my
food.
god.
But it sounds good.
How am I doing today? Hello, Hannah. I'm doing good, thank you. Has anyone seen the new Indiana Jones? Well, it's another flop for Disney.
Is it on Disney Plus?
What's up, Disney? Mermaid, flop. Lightyear, flop. First in Pixar's history, by the way. It has been a bad fiscal quarter for Disney. Two, really. Almost 3 quarters in a row. Disney is in a downward spiral. They cannot figure it out. Removing content from Disney Plus left and right. They don't have any idea what's going on.
Like, what do you mean? What did they remove?
Oh, National Treasure was the most recent one.
Why?
I don't know. I don't look too into all this because I'm sure it's all has to do with paying people. If something's not doing well, like they don't want to pay the people, they can just take it down off the site.
Makes sense.
It's such a weird world, this writer strikey world, actor strikey world that we're in.
Mm-hmm.
It was bound to happen. The industry's failing too hard in all regard. As fans, we won't sign up for it, as we've proven. We're not going to sign up for you changing the Little Mermaid. We're not going to sign up for you bastardizing Luke Skywalker. We're not going to sign up for this weird new Marvel Cinematic Universe. Did anybody watch the Marvels trailer today, 9 hours ago? Again, I don't understand what's going on with Marvel. How can they keep releasing these movies? If you showed me the Marvels trailer, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Thor, Love and Thunder, and Multiverse of Madness trailers, if you showed me all of them, I could pull 30 seconds from each one that you would not be able to distinguish what. I know we're in the multiverse phase, but I didn't think all these movies were supposed to look the same. I had no idea that's what we were signing up for, and I hate it. Before I started my YouTube channel, if you had asked me, Tom, what's the most important thing in your life, your number one priority, I'd have told you it was the MCU. I said, I just want to live to see the end of this because I can't believe my childhood's coming true in this way. And now to watch it just being shit all over, Star Wars was much harder to watch in a way because it was worse. Movies are much harder to they were just, they're saga. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then when you get 7, 8, and 9 and they're as bad as they are, it's not like you had 25 great Marvel movies with Thor 2 and Ant-Man and some of these things mixed in that weren't great, and then all of a sudden, it's just been, it's getting to the point where we can't hit 10 of these being bad. And we're getting to that point where we're gonna have 10 bad Marvel movies. To watch it all, you'd have to watch 10 bad movies. That's, We won't sign up for it, apparently, as fans, because people are just not going to see these movies, right? Spider-Man, the word got out. We knew what was going to happen. The leaks happened. These guys were getting interviewed left and right. It was like, we knew the payoff was coming, and we just wanted to see it with our own eyes. And so it was $1.5 billion movie. Multiverse almost hit that, but then look at what happened with Wakanda Forever. Look what happened with Quantum Realm. I mean, I don't know. They've just been bad. And now Indiana Jones, a character that Harrison Ford says is his favorite character he ever played. And they're just crapping all over it. And they already did it. Shia LaBeouf, the Crystal Skull, that was 10 years ago. They already did this with Indiana Jones. The third Indiana Jones was bad with Anthony Hopkins. And that was 30 years ago. It's just weird. Like, the prequels were not good. Why are we going back to Star Wars if it's not good? If Marvel's tapped out, why are we, what's up? Stop production on all this stuff and give us, while you have Hugh Jackman, use it. While you have the ability to pull in the Fantastic Four in a new way, use it. Don't give us all this crap. And they know it too. Everything's in damage control now. That's what you're going to see post the Marvels. It's going to be damage control. Just like The Mandalorian has been. Damage control. The show lacks in its creativity because it has to do so much damage control for the rest of Star Wars. How do we explain the fuel that now all of a sudden exists? How do we explain the Holdo maneuver? How do we explain all these things that everybody's pissed about? Luke, all this damage control. And I think Ahsoka, in a lot of ways, if it's damage control, we're in trouble. And if it relies on you having seen Rebels and Clone Wars as much as it looks like it does, half the people aren't going to understand what the hell's going on. How is Thrawn the big bad guy if you don't know about him? If you didn't watch seasons of him in Rebels, how is he going to scare you? This Ezra, this guy we're searching for, if you didn't know who he is, I don't understand if it relies on too much of damage control left and right. What are you making over there?
Mozzarella sticks.
With the pizza? Pizza and mozzarella sticks, I love it. That's awesome. Monarch, how are you? Jeff, how are you? I hope your Friday is going swimmingly. We are having a pretty good time. We're getting ready to crank out Black Panther and jump into the big one. The big baddie. Infinity War. Sargento, what's up, sir? How are you? We've been saying the same. Yeah. I don't even need new. I just need good. If you're gonna give me a new Harry Potter, I'm fine with that. I don't think that, nobody besides Michael Gambon or Richard Harris could play. Let's put it this way. I don't think that anybody besides Alan Rickman as Snape will be hard to recast. I just don't. Daniel Radcliffe was a child. And again, you're going to have to get children again, but this is a different age. Look at these Stranger Things kids, it's a different age. You can find kids. Look at Bella Ramsey. She went from Game of Thrones, playing the little bear there, to now she's a Emmy-nominated, Golden Globe-nominated actress. So kids can really act now. It's not like the days of Corey Feldmans and stuff. We're in a really... I just really think that you could hire some kids to do really well. And honest to God, just hire Ian McKellen to come play Dumbledore. And you're all set. Now Ian McKellen gets to have played the two greatest wizards in all of book history. Just let him do Gandalf all over again. Why not? You tell me it's going to be bad? Because what, you're just going to see Gandalf the whole time? Who cares? They're the same character. The same dude. I just think it's a no-brainer to me. There's certain people you could easily just recast, like an Emma Thompson, right, as McGonagall. Are you fucking kidding me? I think some of them would just play so well, And I've heard a lot of talk about that Adam Driver, Kylo Ren himself, becoming Snape. I can see it. I think that he's got the chops. I've seen him act outside of Kylo Ren, and that dude's an actor. So he could bring that thunder to that character, that, you know, that depressionary thing that it requires, you know, Mr. Potter. You know, I could see it. I think if they make a few right, like a few choice casting thing, what has HBO done wrong besides how bad they end their stuff? I mean, that's not going to happen with Harry Potter, because Harry Potter's written. The end of Harry Potter is the most beautiful part of Harry Potter. You just stick to the book. The only thing J.K. got right the whole time.
So there is an ending to it?
Oh, it's beautiful. Beautiful.
I thought it was something that was still going and stuff.
Beautiful. Nope. Harry's got the end of Harry Potter's journey could continue, but that story, it has a culmination. Yeah, and it's beautiful. All you gotta do is stick to the books. Hollywood dark now, so we're only gonna get stuff that's already in the can. Never seen more overhype for these two movies this week. Yeah, I know, overhype for sure. Oppenheimer's gonna be good, but I mean, I don't think it's like, I'm surprised with all the movies that have come out that this is getting as much buzz. I think it's because people love to see Robert Downey Jr., to be honest with you.
Oh, he's in it?
Yeah, I think that even him just doing press for it, it just gives people such a good vibe. We miss him.
He has good, like...
The Newsroom was the worst ending. Oh no. It was bad, dude. But it was, Sopranos was by far HBO's maybe best ending. Game of Thrones is pure bastardization. What they did to Daenerys was disgusting. It was, I hate it. I don't hate a lot of things like palpably. But if you were to put me in a room with those two guys and just say, Tom, you could talk to these dudes for 10 minutes, I would just lay into them about how I understand life is a big thing, but I hope they understand that, like, they're philosophical enough to understand that you only get so much time in life. So to invest the kind of time that people did in Game of Thrones and to just shit in somebody's face like that is really crazy. You know, really crazy. And it's just, it's the way I feel about Ryan Johnson. I hate these people.
What's he from?
He directed The Last Jedi.
Oh, okay.
You know, what these people did with the properties that I love was Luke much more than Daenerys. Did I love Dany? Of course, we all did. What a great story. But Luke Skywalker was my childhood hero. I had a little green lightsaber having fights with my grandpa. You know, I mean, what they did to Luke was unforgivable, and we as fans will never forgive it. We won't, and Disney knows it. Don't believe there's a reason that there's no Star Wars movies. They're coming, but it took 5 years for them to even start to announce that there was going to be no Star Wars movies. Don't forget that before The Last Jedi came out, do not forget before The Last Jedi came out that those D&D, the guys that wrote Game of Thrones, had a trilogy in the can. It was given to them. Disney was like, you've got a trilogy. There was Solo was going to come out, and then there was going to be the Yodas. There was going to be so much that was going to come, and then it all just got put on halt immediately, and it's been damage control ever since. That guy is responsible for that. One dude tricked Kathleen Kennedy enough. It's not her fault. She's an executive producer. Everybody likes to put the blame on her. Pierce, right? He's one of those guys that's like, oh, Kathleen Kennedy. I agree with you. I hate her. But it's not all her fault. George Lucas saw something in that lady. He gave her that company. She had worked with him on all those movies. She wasn't dumb to this. But Ryan Johnson had her twisted. With whatever he did to her, he had her convinced that he had the right path. And she just wasn't smart enough to have reached out to somebody like Dave Filoni yet. She didn't understand that even though Kathleen Kennedy had been given Lucasfilm by George, that Dave Filoni was really George's Padawan. He was the one that had gathered all the knowledge. And as soon as Star Wars was given to him and Jon Favreau, it's been a more... think about Baby Yoda. I say this all the time. Baby Yoda as a little piece of property, as a merchandising tool, as a way to draw people in, that comes from the mind of those guys. Not from Ryan Johnson, not from JJ, not from them. It came from who should have been given this stuff in the first place. Because then we wouldn't have gotten Rey and Kylo and all this stuff. We would have gotten Baby Yoda. We would have gotten all this stuff off the rip. Ahsoka. All these people would have... Ahsoka could have been our Rey. She already had been our Rey for years. We didn't need Rey. We already had Ahsoka. She could have just become... You know, it just... There's so many paths to take. As fans, I don't think we'll stand for it. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah, she greenlights stuff, but on the other hand, you have to think like, yeah, it is her fault. You know, it is her fault. It is her fault. 100%.
It's not fun guy here. Where's Thor?
For me, really the worst of all of it lately has been Lord of the Rings. I try to forget that it happened, but it did. You know, it's hard to forget that $500 million went down the shithole, along with Tolkien, my fucking hero, rolling over in his grave. Like, I try to forget that it happened, but it did, and season 2 will come. And unlike Harry Potter coming back, Lord of the Rings coming back seems like it's going to be nothing but terrible. Hogwarts Legacy as a piece of Harry Potter property, genius. I mean, even Star Wars hasn't been able to wrangle that together. Since 25 years ago when Knights of the Old Republic came out, they haven't been able to figure out how do we present to you a story that's outside of what you know, that's in the world you know, that's your own. You know, Harry Potter for me, I know JK doesn't get a lot of love, and I know that The Cursed Child was a weird experience in terms of if it's canon, does it matter? For me, I like that first Fantastic Beasts movie. I actually like the second one. I think the third one sucked. I think that they should leave it. But I think Harry Potter's in a positive state. I think that there's something to work with there. There's something magical about it. The Sorting Hat scene from Family Guy is so funny, dude. It is so funny. How about Hufflepuff or Slytherin or... I can't say because it's YouTube, but her tweet. And then it was, you know, alright, who's the next boy or girl? The Sorting Hat. Unbelievable. You are now to what J.K. Rowling is to problematic wizard stories. Genius. Family Guy's absolute genius. I've been watching a lot of it lately. In general, Harry Potter's in a good state, unlike the rest of it. I mean, really, these next Star Wars movies could bring things back. Andor was a shock of how good it was. Brothels in Star Wars, first episode, brothels. Imperial officers talking about how it's better to beat your kids if you want to get them to listen to you. I was like, this is Disney Star Wars? You know, there was all that talk that they were going to drop the F-bomb in that part where she's like, you know, to hell with the Empire or whatever she says, that she was going to go F the Empire. If they had, I'd have really been in the state of, okay, you're understanding that we're an audience of adults. Ah, surprise. We love Baby Yoda, but we're not children. We don't want children's stories. Obi-Wan, again, I think it was a total waste. At the end of Episode 3, we leave Obi-Wan where? Knowing that he has to communicate with Qui-Gon Jinn in order to become one with the Force and protect Luke. That's where he leaves off. Bye, see you later. You give this guy an entire 8-episode show, and where does he end off? He ends up at the exact moment that you wanted him to be from the first moment. Talking to Qui-Gon, getting to figure out what it's like to become one with the Force, and looking over Luke. The whole show just adds complexities to it. Why does Leia not speak to Obi-Wan in this way, that they have a crazy past together? Why do Vader and Luke have this now new past that we didn't really know they had? It was just weird, and I don't understand who's at the helm, because it's like somebody was like, let's bring Ewan back because the fans want this. But they didn't understand why we wanted it. We didn't want it for that. We wanted it to see how he became the old man in the desert. We wanted to see how he became that guy. Even when they listen to us, they don't understand why we're saying what we're saying. And I don't know who sits at these tables. It's not us. It's not the paying people. This isn't my opinion. Star Wars fans are adamant. Go watch Star Wars Theory. Look at what happened to the Galactic Star Cruiser. Look at Galaxy's Edge. These things are hated by the Star Wars community. Why? Because they suck. They have nothing to do with what we want in Star Wars. It's weird. I don't understand what's going on at Disney. I mean, imagine if Disney owned Harry Potter like they were supposed to. We'd be doomed. Everything would be in it. Imagine if Disney owned Lord of the Rings. It's not any better than Amazon does, apparently. But, imagine if they did. I mean, I think that we couldn't have gotten handed any more woke garbage than we did from Amazon. So, Disney does not get Star Wars. I saw this beautiful clip that's also going viral of the scene where John Hammond is talking to Ian Malcolm in Jurassic Park, and Jeff Goldblum is saying to him, he's like, you didn't even understand what you had here, and before you even understood it, you packaged it, and you put a label on it, and you sold it, and it's like, it's so true. It's like they didn't even know what they had before they were just like, you want $250 lightsabers? You want to spend $3,000 for a couple of nights? Do you want this? Do you want that? You want Luke Skywalker? Do you want that? No, we don't that's not what any of us want. Hell no. If we wanted that, we would go and get it. There are lightsabers. We don't need you to make them for us. We can just go to the website and buy them. They're better quality. We don't need that. We don't want some Star Wars hotel. That exists. We go to Tunisia and stay in like Aunt Ben and Aunt Baru and Uncle Ben's little cabin. I don't get it. I just don't get it. They don't get what we want. We've tried though. We've tried to tell them, and I think they're starting to listen. I think they're starting to listen because they realize that if they don't, that stuff's gonna tank. Won't be worth bringing Robert Downey Jr. back, Chris Evans back for Secret War. By the time all this happens, it won't even be worth it, because there'll be nothing that'll salvage it if it stays down this path. I mean, Marvel's in a bad spot. They should have just let JJ do all of them. They should, because JJ did a pretty good job with Star Trek. I mean, they weren't great, but they were pretty good. Cumberbatch as Khan? Oh my God, that might be one of his best roles ever. Yeah, he was a great Sherlock, and he, Smaug. I mean, there's so many great characters. He's a good Doctor Strange too, but as Khan, he was like scary. Scary. What's up, little dog? Want to say hi, everybody? Well, that's it. I'm done ranting and raving about the MCU. Best to jump back into it. Me and Jenna are gonna go and watch Black Panther 2. No, 1. What the hell am I talking about? Black Panther 2. I'm gonna watch Black Panther 2, even though it's gonna be 8 movies for me. Yeah, Rise of Skywalker's a mess too. It's not as bad as Last Jedi, but it's pretty bad. It just doesn't captivate me, the Rise of Skywalker. I don't get it. I think bringing Palpatine back was such a dumb move. It's like there's so many options, you know? Yeah, I gotta be honest with you. I can barely watch Black Panther. I'm like half in tears, you know? Sometimes when I watch this movie. Because, I mean, Chadwick is like, well, such a terrible thing. Life is, I don't know, short. Chad kills me. Oh yeah, that was a cry fest. Are you kidding me? His funeral scene and stuff. I was just about dead. I was like, I just couldn't take it. Hey, by myself, grown ass man in the theater crying next to this guy. I was like, yeah, it crushed me. Stop messing with me. Jane's messing with me. She was outside. I thought she was in her room. That was funny. She got me. You got me. All right, say goodbye to everybody, Jenna. Say goodbye to everybody, little sun queen. Star Wars accolade? Yeah, I'll probably be all right. I don't know much about it. The old Sith stuff. We'll see whenever they touch upon all that. What do you know about old Sith stuff? And how do you know? Most people don't know any of that stuff, dude. Martha Ragnos. He was the OG. About Exar Kun. Darth Bane's the one most people are like most familiar with, but Nihilus, Malik, Revan. When he gets into the Plagueis era, oh, that's just Palpatine's. The Palpatine's master. He's not old at all. Plagueis is New Age Sith. Old Sith, Marco Ragnos, who's the first? Yeah. I always like Exar Kun though. He was cool. Darth Bane, Rule of 2. Yeah, there's a lot of cool old Sith. Nihilus, he was the cool one. I love old Sith stuff. You're a legend, Sargento. I appreciate you, man. Jenna?
Yes.
Goodbye.
Bye, all.
We'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you. It'll be a more robust stream. Okay? Okay. Hit the button now.